Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Everybody's working on this.
AJ, there was somebody at the PD that called Sarah thinking the meeting was there in person. I don't know if you connected with them or not.
That was me, Andy. I didn't
Oh.
realize we were doing Zoom today. I just pulled off by the park here. I'll just do it on my phone.
Oh, okay. Sounds good, Josh. All right. Well, I think we'll get started here. We'll call the meeting to order 2:02 p.m. Roll call. Committee member Armstrong.
Here.
Bump.
Here.
Williamson. I think he's off. Councilman Johnson.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
And myself. We'll note that members Moss, Rice, and Williamson are absent. Alrighty, item number 3, approve the minutes from the June 10th, 2021 traffic or Transportation and Traffic Review Committee meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Alrighty, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, item number 4, parking requests. This item was tabled from the March 2021 meeting. This was a request of the Julie Reinl, who owns the Reflections Adult Daycare over on Sherman Avenue. Unfortunately, I neglected to send her the invite yesterday. I just sent it to her, realizing that error. So maybe she'll join during the meeting. But regardless, she had contacted me and indicated that she had had conversations with all of the folks around her, the dentist's office, the insurance company, Wayne Hayes, Johnson Bank. All of them were in favor of her proposal to create a loading zone there in front of the building. That loading zone would only be active from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekdays. So after hours, it would be available for public parking. That was the request that we made of her at the March meeting, was to make those phone calls and make sure that that folks were okay with that, the businesses within the area. In general, I think it came up in the discussion last time. We try not to accommodate businesses in these situations, especially when they know going in that maybe the loading situation is not ideal for their particular use of the building. But we have in the past accommodated mainly with handicap spaces in residential areas. The coffee shop down on Milwaukee Avenue, Beauty and the Bean, is a good example of that, where they just simply didn't have for their clientele local handicap parking available on that particular site. I think this kind of fits in with that situation a little bit, but obviously, the discussion of the group here would play out in response, or in response to this request. So I guess I'd open it up to the committee members. Is there anybody that would like to speak on this item, or continue the discussion we had started in March?
She indicates that she has talked to all of these locations, but do we have anything in writing or more than just her saying, I talked to them all and they're all okay with it? Like, I worry about making a decision based off of just that information.
Yeah, I do not have anything beyond that. I did ask her for the names of the folks that she spoke with. I'm going to pull up that email now. I was hoping to follow up with them, but this all transpired here in the last couple of days and just haven't had the time. She had said that she, let's see here. She had spoken with Dr. Bender next door, and he was fine with it. And then she said she had talked to all the businesses who use that parking stall in front of the building. Everyone was supportive of having a loading zone in the area. I'm searching for the email from her that indicated the other businesses, because I did ask her to provide the names of those businesses. Here we go. She talked with Dr. Bender. She talked with Joe Larson at Wayne Hayes. She talked with the folks at Pizza Via. She didn't have a name there. And the folks at Brad Key's Chiropractic Clinic, all of whom were on her side of the street. So no, I did not follow up with any of those to confirm, but I think we can take her at her word.
I cut out. Did you talk to Russell Hartwig?
That was not one of the folks on the list, no.
Because I think he owns the majority of them buildings up there.
Well, we can come back to her and ask for a little more confirmation of things, and I can follow up again. She just she sent me this information on Tuesday this week, so I really didn't have time to follow up on it. So yeah, we would be taking her at her word that these conversations had taken place.
How would we end up if we did agree to transition that spot, Andy, how would we mark that spot?
We've put a sign in there, so if we hatched it, the problem with hatching the pavement is that we would not be able to accommodate the time limit, right? So she's agreed to just have it during her business hours from 8 to 5 during the day, and then have the spot open in the evening. So really the only way to affect that is to place a sign there that says, that indicates such. Essentially, that would be, like a 15-minute parking loading zone from 8 to 5 weekdays. I will say, we had this discussion in March at that meeting. She did not come back in June, but has come back for this September meeting, having had those conversations. So, we could certainly table this again and follow up with the business owners and follow up directly with her, and ask about the, how much of a need this is. I would have expected a pretty quick action on this if this was really a driving issue for their business, and have this on the June meeting agenda. Any other thoughts?
I guess like Chief Bump said, I'd like to see a letter from all the business owners that they're all in agreement with it. Something in writing.
Yeah, I expected there to be more than just a verbal. I would make a motion to table it until the December meeting, until we have all of the information we need. And then make sure that Ms. Reinl is at that December meeting to answer any questions, and then provide the needed information.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Armstrong.
Okay, we have a motion and a second from Armstrong. Any further discussion? All righty, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, I'll follow up with Ms. Reinl on some better documentation of the situation, and make sure that she is present at the December meeting. Again, that her lack of attendance here is likely my fault. I didn't get her on the email distribution yesterday. Okay, item 5, speed limit reviews. 5A, this is a request from Chief Bump. Actually, now that we are the owners of the Banker Road corridor, that area has been on the chief's list, I know, for a while with respect to speed control. So there's a request forward to essentially we're going to set the speed limit to 35 miles an hour. We're not necessarily changing it because it has now come into our jurisdiction for the first time. So we're just simply making a request to set that at 35 miles an hour. Chief, I took a shot on this. I think I captured what we were looking at here. Southbound would be notified of the 35 just immediately below or south of Ford Road. And then northbound would be notified of the 35 right at the top of the hill past the Campus Drive intersection. We do have existing signs opposite this northbound sign currently that say reduced speed, and then we go to 25 right at the corner of Campus Drive and Banker Road.
Yeah, I think that's correct. It should be marked correctly that way then. And I guess my motivation behind it is that it's a fairly narrow road. And it doesn't have very forgiving shoulders or ditch line on either side of the road. for that length. And it's, if you've driven down it, 45 seems pretty fast for that type of terrain. And the uneven terrain, it's a hilly location, wooded location. And I think we would be ensuring it to be a little bit safer of a roadway if we bring that down to 35 for that length. And it'll probably prepare us for the future, whatever that may be. If it stays at 35 or changes to even 25 in the future, or if the road is even there, the way we see it today.
I would agree. Any additional discussion or perhaps a motion? This would be referred to the city council because the speed limits, I believe, are set in ordinance. So the city council would enact an ordinance to set the speed limit here. Motion from anyone?
I can make the motion, but I'm the one that asked for it to be on the agenda, so I
I'll
wasn't
make
sure
the
if I should or
motion.
not.
Thanks, Jeff.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Jeff, the motion was for just simply setting that speed limit at 35, I assume.
Yep.
And Johnson with the second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All righty. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item 8, Mr. Woodward's on the line with Brown Cab for our quarterly update on the shared
Yes,
drive.
thanks, Andy. The last 3 months, we've seen really a continued plateau, maybe even just a slight downtick in the number of rides. And looking at years past, it looks like it's fairly common to see a slight decrease in rides over the summer months. And that continued so far this summer as well. Let's see. Just skipped right over what I was looking for. There it is. In terms of our demand throughout the course of the day, it's been pretty consistent with the other times of the year. We still have not many rides early in the morning and not many rides late at night. The bulk of them, between business hours, particularly school hours, work hours, that sort of thing. Let's see. We have had a little bit of an increase in trips that take place after 7 p.m. Went up 22% this past quarter over the preceding quarter, from 205 trips after 7 p.m. to 250. So we have seen a little bit of an increase there. In terms of our marketing, at the moment, we are really focusing our efforts on social media and in particular, ramping up our staffing through social media. Like many places that rely on unskilled labor, we have had some shortages the last few months. And it seems like that's finally starting to turn around. We're starting to bring some more people on board and being able to put more drivers on the road the last few weeks here. Just to follow up on a conversation we had the last meeting about interfacing with the Tavern League. Based on some information I gleaned from Tavern League representative and a couple of the taverns themselves individually, we were able to find an issue with a particular dispatcher. That issue has now been resolved. So I think that the Tavern League is probably going to be seeing a much better level of service than they have in the past.
Wow, thanks for doing that, Paul. We've been talking about that Tavern League stuff for several years in this committee, with respect to the service we're trying to provide to folks.
Absolutely. Any questions on any of that?
I don't think so. Yeah, we're on the other side of things. We did just get notified that we've been approved for a new taxi. I'm not sure if this is the taxi that we had planned to buy, the minivan that we planned to buy in 2021, or if this is the replacements for the minivan that we totaled in 2020. So we'll
Okay,
figure that
great.
out. But good news that we've been at least approved. Now we'll see if we can actually find the vehicle. It seems there's a
Right.
shortage of those
Absolutely.
these
Well, thanks
days.
for passing that on.
All righty. Well, we'll just simply accept and file, I think, the update from Paul and Brown Cab on the previous quarter. Safe routes to school. We don't really have much on that. We talked about last time. I'll be submitting the grants again, but they're not available yet for application. So we have 2 grants going in for bike paths on South Main Street, and then another one through kind of the Black Hawk Drive corridor to the north that we've seen before here. I think a year ago or 2. Item 10 then would be adjournment.
I'll make a motion.
Thank
I'll
you, Jeff.
second.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Motion is second to adjourn. Any additional discussion? All right, sounds good. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Josh, for chiming in. We'll likely continue the Zoom meeting. We do have hybrid meetings set up now with City Council. We just had our first last week.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see if we can accommodate those for our December meeting. Would like to get back into person, but I'm not sure the timing is right for this meeting yet. So
Sure. No, that's fine. Is Tom going to be present at the next meeting? I just wanted to discuss with him about district vehicles. I know there was some talk about that.
yeah. I'll connect with you on offline, I guess, with that, Josh, and fill you in on some conversations we've had.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Thank you all.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
See y'all.
Hey, Julie, are you still on?
I am. Can you hear me?
Julie, I apologize. I intended to send you this packet via the email yesterday, and I neglected to add you to the list.
Okay.
We had the discussion. The committee. I'll be honest with you. This is offline, so the meeting has ended.
Okay.
The committee is a little concerned about continuing, or about essentially making accommodations for your business, and the reason that concern exists, I think, is because there's no stopping that. And what I mean by that is there's no way for us to say to the next group that comes in, hey, we're not going to put in a special parking accommodation for you. So you can imagine, like a Humphrey Floral, for instance, downtown. Hey, we have a lot of older visitors and we don't have anywhere for them to park close. Could you just simply, indicate a loading zone in front of our place so that, people can be dropped off and have better access to our building? Your situation is a little bit unique in that you're, catering consistently to a specific clientele, but I think that's a little bit of the heartache that you may or may not understand is going on here. So
Okay.
what the committee indicated was they would like letters of support. So
Okay.
if you can reach out to Dr. Bender, and then all those folks along your block, you could just simply write a letter indicating that you're going to put in the loading zone from 8 to 5. We'll put a sign in there, so it would be available after 5 o'clock on weekdays and then through the weekend, as you had indicated to them. Just have them sign, hey, we understand this is happening, and maybe take care of that, and then we'll bring it back to the December meeting. I think it will pass.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we're just kind of making you jump through some hoops here that may not be necessarily what's driving it, I guess, is the reluctance to put this out there.
No, I understand. Yeah, we could do that. It can be the same letter as long as they sign to it or,
Yeah, I think that would be the most efficient for you. You know, you can write the letter, frankly, and just ask if they would sign on to it, or even just send you an email, you know, from them indicating that they support it.
Okay.
And then we'll make sure you're at that next meeting. The next meeting will be December. In fact, I'll send you the invite to it now, but it'll be, let me pull it up here. I think it's December the 10th. Let me see my calendar here. Nope, I take that back. December the 9th
okay,
at 2 p.m.
at 2 p.m. Okay,
Yeah, and the link will be the same that you have now. So if we do a Zoom meeting, which I think we probably will, the link that you have for this meeting that was
Okay.
sent out in the packet will be it'll be the same one.
okay, wonderful.
So
Okay,
now you'll be able to join regardless of whether I remember or not.
Okay, okay, that sounds wonderful.
All
So
right.
that's pretty much all we need then, and then you think it'll pass?
I think so, but you know, again, it's a committee of whether there's 6 or 7 folks on there. So there's two folks from the community, Mark Moss and Jack Rice, and then Bruce Johnson with the city council, and then the rest of the folks on the committee are city employees. So the police chief, myself, the city electrician, the street superintendent.
Okay,
So we've had some discussions about these sorts of things in the past, as I mentioned, like folks that want children at play signs, you know, placed in front of their residents, you know, because there's a lot of kids out there and they want to slow down traffic. And the problem with that is we just don't have, everybody would like to have something like that, right? To be able to
right,
indicate something going on.
right,
With the children at play situation, we've actually just, the police department has signs that they've purchased that residents can buy, and they can place it in the terrace that essentially say the same thing. So that's
Okay.
been a nice solution to that, but your solution is a little more unique with the clientele that you serve. So,
okay. Well, that sounds great then. I will go ahead and do that and we'll go from there.
all right. Thanks, Julie. I appreciate your patience.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.